So there was a study done that showed that the agricultural practices of a community have an impact on the behavior of the people in that community, even if they aren't farmers for that community. This was observed within one generation and showed that it didn't take long for change to take place. So this is a video that I recently watched by Anton Petrov, where he went over this topic. And that's how I found out about this. So I recommend you go watch that video for a better breakdown. But depending on what the people were growing and the general practices used for growing that crop was what determined how the community behaved. Rice is typically grown by sharing the labor, while wheat is more of an individual farmer crop. This was observed in the behavior of the community, even if they weren't directly involved in growing the crops, right? So people that were in the community farming rice tended to be more, more like even if they weren't farming the rice directly, but they lived in the community that was farming rice, they tended to be more collective, more more inclusive, more community-based, helpful, friendly, sharing. Whereas in the wheat growing community, the people tended to be more individualistic and just kind of uncaring about the other people of the community. There wasn't a strong community, really. It was more individualistic. And so this is really so I feel like you can just kind of look at the agricultural practices of today and kind of see that fits our society pretty well. But this is really reassuring to me, as I feel that my plans for integrated community, permaculture, food forest farming will result in a healthier lifestyle community and in a way of living / seeing the world. So that mouthful that I call this, right? Because I was like, how do I explain what I want to do? So I integrated community, permaculture, food forest farming. Basically, I have an idea. I have a vision, a goal of what I want to achieve, and the goal is I want to make a community that is self-sufficient in just about every way, at the very least, energy and food self-sufficiency and water, right? Food, water, and energy self-sufficiency. Maybe they can outsource other products and stuff, but at least have those things self-sufficient. What did I say? Food, water, energy. Yeah. And so my plan is to make communities that are focused on basically self-sufficiency and living as a community, right? So that doesn't just mean like, oh, we live in a neighborhood, right? Because I live in a neighborhood, but how many of my neighbors do I know? None, right? Like, I mean, here in my apartment, I don't know anyone that lives around me, right? Because why would I care about anyone around me, right? They're just other people. Like, they don't matter, right? And I feel like that's the kind of outlook that a lot of our society has now. It's like, why do I even care who my neighbors are? They don't matter to me, right? I'm just living here in my apartment. That's all that matters. That's all that is important. There's no sense of community. There's none, right? And I'm not saying that I've actively tried to make friends with people around here because, I'm one, like, I don't know if it's really worth it for me to do that because I don't intend to be here long term. But also, two, like, I'm barely even at my apartment. So, like, if I'm not working, then I'm home and I'm busy. Like, I'm busy doing things and then making myself food and going to bed, right? I don't have enough free time to bother with my neighbors. But well, I mean, I have plenty of free time. I just don't want to waste it. Sounds harsh. Where was I? Right. So I want to make a community, right? I want to make a community where everyone kind of works together and there's an integrated societal goal where it's like there's constantly activities and events that kind of engage the whole community and everyone works together and works together to produce this self-sufficient community. And I want to integrate this self-sufficient community with the ecosystem, with the environment in a way that meshes with rather than clashes, right? I don't want it to be like houses, plants, animals, I don't know, right? Like everything is perfectly divided and everything. I want it to be all blended together, right? You have your apartment here, right? You have your house, right? You have your little house and then you can do whatever in your house, but then we have the community center that's over here where everyone really hangs out. Like your house is where you go and sleep and you can do private things, but a majority, like if you're going to go do something, like you would go to the community center to do it. Right. And then in theory, this is just, I have some rough ideas. How exactly it would all play out, I don't know. I haven't done this, right? Obviously, I don't have all the answers, but I have ideas and I really want to experiment and try and do this. I just don't have the funds for such things, or necessarily, the people, the connections, right? So, but you would have like you right outside your apartment, you've got food. Like you walk out of your apartment, there's like everything is food everywhere. It's food everywhere, right? Why, like there's none of this stupid growing, just a massive lawn of green grass. That's wasted real estate. No, that's all food. It's berry bushes and it's fruit trees and it's nut trees and it's just, every plant is planted with the intention of providing food without the need to segregate everything, right? It is like, it's just, there's just food everywhere. That's my plan. How do we solve world hunger? Food everywhere. And that sounds stupid, but it's like, well, no, duh, just put food everywhere. But like, yeah, literally that's all we need to do. The problem is that's not profitable because if you put food everywhere, then who's going to buy food? Food's everywhere. And that's why it doesn't happen. If you wanted to, you can take a fruit tree and make 1 million fruit trees. Maybe you can't get 1 million fruit trees. No, actually, I lied. You can get an infinite number of trees from one tree, right? It may not produce fruit right away, right? But if a tree puts out even just 5 seeds, right? And then each one of those seeds grows into a tree, and each one of those seeds, new trees puts out 5 seeds, right? You see where I'm going with this? So I went from 5, right? 1 to 5, then it's, oh my gosh, what's that number? Is it 20? It's like, that would be, is it just 25? 5 times 5 plus, you're already at like 151 trees or something, if I'm doing my math right. From one tree, right? 3 generations of seeds, and you have 125 trees, right? But one tree doesn't typically put out 5 seeds, right? And you don't even need the seeds. You can propagate trees off of cuttings, right? So every year the trees will lose their leaves, and then you can prune them, right? And you can turn those clippings, right? You clip it back, right? You prune the tree, and this is healthy for the tree to do this. Actually, it promotes more more growth in the coming year. So you're not even really harming the tree to do this, right? And you take those and you can propagate those cuttings into new trees, right? So you don't even need the seeds to do this. And it's actually faster to do the cuttings because then you don't have to wait for the seed to germinate and slowly grow. Like you already have like a mini tree. It still doesn't produce fruit right away, but that's besides the point, right? What I'm saying is that it is so easy to put food everywhere. If we really wanted to do it, everyone, like, it could just be a community service thing. Like, you don't even need money to do this. If you have trees and plants that produce fruit and berries and things along those lines, then that's all you need. If everyone that had those things decided that they're going to start propagating their own plants, world hunger is solved. It's solved. It's not hard to do this. It's just not profitable. And that is the problem with our society. And so self-sufficiency is not difficult. It's just not encouraged, because if you're making, well, one, you got to spend your time making your own food. And, you know, if you don't want to spend time making your own food and growing your own food, then this system we have works best, right? A lot of people all they care about is themselves. So they're not going to waste their time growing their own food. They'll make someone else waste their time growing food so they can do the things they want to do. And I'm not saying that that is the worst thing ever, right? But what I am saying is that our current systems are not sustainable. And this talk is getting deeper than I was going to go initially, but our current systems are not going to work for within 10 years' time, I would not be shocked, maybe sooner even, that our current systems of agricultural, mass agricultural farming and monocropping and, just fertilize the ground and then plant the seeds, and then all the seeds need to be new seeds every year. This system of farming is going to collapse. It will not work soon. And when it stops working, famine will be what comes, right? Because we do not have resilient systems of feeding ourselves. This system is not sustainable. We are running out of resources. The climate is changing, and we are not changing with it. We are saying, damn the climate, I'll farm how I want to. And we will starve. It's going to happen. If we don't change, it will happen. And it's just a matter of when. It's not an if, it's when. Our current methods are going to fail, and it's going to fail soon. We're currently electrifying everything, and green energy and all these things we don't have enough power. We don't have enough energy. We're bringing coal back. We're bringing back fossil fuels. Why are we doing this? Because we don't have enough energy to sustain our appetite, right? And it's only getting greater by the day. How do you solve this? You de-energize. You use passive methods of, heating and passive methods of energy production, and you utilize nature. I think some of our biggest problems come from us fighting against nature rather than following the nature's way, right? Nature does not like monocropping, and yet we refuse to do anything else, right? We refuse to allow weeds to grow in our garden. Get these weeds out of here. I only want my crops. And I'm not saying you should just let your weeds run rampant necessarily, but there's a reason why those weeds are there. And you can kind of learn things from the weeds that grow in your garden, in your lawn, and all these things. Because if they're there, there's a reason. All plants have a preferred condition to grow in, or most plants, I would say. Some are a little less picky. They can kind of grow everywhere. But there are certain plants that have specific conditions they're looking for to grow. And so there's certain plants you say, get out of my lawn, and you keep killing them as they spring up. But if you just pay attention to what it's trying to tell you, it's saying, hey, like, I'm growing here because you're missing this, right? And that's, interesting. But besides the point, what I'm trying to say is that I want to shift our current method of monocropping agriculture on large swaths of open land into an integrated, communal, self-sufficient system. The problem is it's not profitable. There's no profit to be made here, right? But that's not a concern for me. That's just a problem with our society. No one wants to do that because it's not profitable. I know it's not profitable. Not monetarily speaking. It's priceless. Priceless otherwise, right? The benefits that this will provide, that this kind of system will provide, is priceless. But it's not profitable. So, it's not being done. That doesn't mean it can't be done. It's just not being done because why would I waste my time helping people, right? I got to look out for me. I got to look out for number one. I think it's time to change our mindsets a little bit. If everyone starts looking out for everyone else, instead of having one person looking out for you, you have 1 million, right? Because if you're looking out for everyone else and everyone else is looking out for everyone else, that means that everyone that's looking out, for every person looking out at everyone else, there is tenfold looking out for them. That's how that works, right? Because if I look out for you and you look out for me and they look out for me and you, right? And then they look out for you for every person that's added to this system, you have one more person watching your back. And if everyone's looking out for everyone, then everyone is good. The problem is that no one wants to do that, right? Because why would I waste my time on other people? They wouldn't do the same for me. That's the problem. That mindset right there is the problem. If you don't think other people can take care of you, then they won't, right? Why would I help you? You won't help me. That's the problem. Help people, people will help you. And if they don't help you, so be it. Someone else will. And if you continue to help people and help people and help people and no one helps you, it's because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Are you helping them, or are you baiting them into helping you? Are you saying, "Oh, I've done all these things for you. Now you got to give me something back"? That's not why you help them. You help them to help them, and then when you need help, people will help you. But you don't demand help. That's not, because then it's not assistance, it's a transaction. And when it's transactional, then it's, why am I helping you if you're not helping me? And we're back to the same problem as we currently have. And so what I'm trying to do in my vision is to build a community that is focused on this integrated communal farming method where everyone kind of works together. And if it is possible, which I believe it is, and it is sustainable, which I believe it to be, right? And I can make it happen, or someone else can make it happen. It doesn't need to be me that does this, but it's what I'm trying to do. It's my goal. Long-term goals is I want to make this widespread. And this study has given me hope, because within the first generation of people living in communities, the agricultural practices translates into the community. And if you integrate communal farming and communal living together, you're going to end up with a strong communal bond and a more conscientious community, right? And if you can dot those around the world, right, then as these communities grow, so too will this method of living and this new way of seeing the world, as not seeing it as something to be harvested, but something to be integrated with, to be a part of, right? To be one with, right? We're not here to scrounge up every last morsel of value. We're here to coexist. That's what we've always been here for. We just kind of forgot. All this greed and this need for money and power, it's meaningless. Who cares? Who cares if you're the most important person in the world? So what? You'll be dead soon. So what? Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It never did. It never did. It's just reassuring to me to see that the method of agriculture translates into the community so effectively and so quickly. Because if we can make this happen, then within a few generations, the world can be completely changed. And that's just really reassuring to me. That if we just decided to make the change and we got enough people around the world to do it, its impacts could be massive. And it wouldn't take a lot to do. It doesn't take a lot to get this started. But I'm not quite there yet. I still have some more learning to do, some more studying to do, and I don't really have the connections that I want to have to do this. But I would love to get this going as soon as possible. It's all I want to do. As I said, and I think in another video, I've said it multiple times, I just want to farm. I just want to grow plants and be at peace and live my life. I just want to grow. I just want to grow plants. It's like I just want to be in nature. I just want to live. And this stinking world, man, won't let me. It says no, you can't do that. You don't want that. I'm like, no, yes I do. But we'll get there. Hopefully, we'll get there. But we'll see, right? We'll see. Anyway, peace out.